Hello everyone. So I'm rebuilding my church and sanctuary. I know, I did this build like 3 weeks ago, but it just wasn't sitting right with me. I mean, the mod that I used, Adam's Greatness, was awesome and the structure itself looked really cool, but it just didn't fit with what I'm going for in sanctuary. Like, I couldn't justify the Minutemen building that. I mean, the factory and the hotel are already kind of a stretch, and then the church was just like icing on the cake. Like, how the hell did they build that? So yeah, I'm just going to go back and make a similar structure, but scrappier and slightly different in the front. And I'm going to be using barn pieces, so PS4 users who didn't have access to Adam's Greatness in my last church build can build this as long as you have the Far Harbor DLC, which gives you the barn pieces. And I guess you could use warehouse pieces too, which is from the Contraptions DLC, either way. But I do recommend some kind of place anywhere mod for some of the techniques that I'm going to be doing. So I shortened up the main structure a bit, so now the foundation is 3x4, and I'm still using these stairs that I got from Adam's Greatness, but you can use any kind of staircase and it still looks pretty cool. And for the walls, I'm going to be using barn pieces, but with Workshop Rearranged, we get different color ones, and I want to use these white ones right here. You can also get these colors from Vanilla Extensions and USO, so all platforms can build this. These are my favorite kind of builds, by the way, when everyone has a way to build it, and in this case, as long as you have the DLCs. Which leads me to my next topic, because right now I'm just placing down some walls, don't really need to explain a lot here. These first couple of walls are snapping like this because I have Workshop Rearranged and also Vanilla Extensions, both of which improve the snapping system. So if you don't have those mods and the walls aren't snapping for you, just be mindful of the build order, because you can get them to work, you just have to move some stuff around. So I get a lot of comments from people saying that they can't use certain mods because they don't have the DLCs, which is kind of a bummer, you know? So I wanted to give back to you guys. I mean, this whole YouTube thing has been so much fun, and I wouldn't have gotten this far without all of you, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna do a giveaway every now and then, as much as I can. And the first one is going to be the full season pass, which gives you every DLC that has come out for Fallout 4. So to enter, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video, and I will announce the winner on my next build video, this time next week. Alright, so the first part of the walls are done. Now to place the top part, which is just these half walls all the way around. So to save time on the video, I just cut that part out. So it's half walls with windows on the sides, and then plain half walls on the front and back with these slanted pieces on top of them. Okay, now to throw up the roof. Well, to put up the roof, not regurgitate, because that'd be pretty gross. So I'm using warehouse roofs because they are darker than the barn roofs and it gives a better contrast with the white walls. And to add a little more texture on the inside, every other roof piece has a support beam. And for this next part, I know people are going to ask, I'm on PC, but I'm using my Xbox controller since that's what I'm used to, and I'm moving the roof without moving my character by holding A and then moving the left stick, which makes it go closer or further away from me. And if you hold A and left bumper and then move the left stick, the object will go higher or lower. And that translates to whatever platform that you're on. So PS4, it would be X, and PC, if you use a keyboard, it would be E. Alright, back to the front, we're going to snap in a floor. It doesn't matter what kind, just any floor snapped into the middle right here. This is just temporary to let us snap in walls for the tower. And before we put those in, I'm going to place down these angled walls in the front. That way I can judge how tall the tower needs to be. And it helped me to build a ramp so I could have a better angle to snap in these walls for the tower. So obviously this part is just temporary. So we're putting a wall in on both sides, and I don't know why I chose a window wall on this side, so let's just get that mess out of here. And see, it snapped funny, so if I go in here and select it, it should pop up where it's supposed to be. There we go. So that's our base for the tower. In the front, I'm going to put in a half wall, because if I put in a full wall, it's going to glitch with the angled walls and do that weird flashing texture thing. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that, but it's weird, and I don't like it. And yes, I see the gap in the wall, and yes, I do fix that later on. You guys know me, come on, I wouldn't let that shit slide. So to finish up the tower, I'm going to use these window walls on these three sides and then a plain one on the back. And there we go. So let's jump down and make sure it's tall enough. Yeah, it looks good. We don't want it to be too tall, but you know, tall enough to get our point across. Whatever that might be. And for the top parts, I want to use this cupola that has the white wall to match the rest. The only problem is that this color cupola with a roof attached to it doesn't match the other roofs because I'm using warehouse pieces, and this white color is only found in the barn tab. So I want it to look like this piece. This is what I'm talking about. But the cupola only snaps to this piece. So here's what you do. Bear with me. Snap in this roof piece, then snap the cupola to it to get it in the right place. Then remove this roof piece, and now I'm going to snap in the roof that I wanted, which is this one. And see, it looks like the roof piece that I showed you before, but now with the right colors. Except for the top of the cupola, but I didn't have any options there. Alright, that was fun, but now I'm putting in the rest of the roof. If these won't snap for you, you probably have to use Place Anywhere. This is one of the reasons why I mentioned it earlier. And I'm going to fill in this gap with cross beams from the barn tab that we get with Workshop Rearranged. I actually think it looks alright without the cross beams, so if you don't have access to this mod, then you could probably just leave it. I mean, I think it looks fine. It looks like a way to get some airflow in there. I say that as I'm covering it up. Alright, watch where I'm going to snap in a floor over here. I'm getting it to snap to the bottom cross beam, you see? And now to snap out a couple of other floors so I don't bust my ass, this is just a way for me to build a cross right here above the door. I'm going to use a rusted up post from the warehouse tab, which snaps to the middle of the floor. So if I didn't have the floor here, it would snap to the inside of the wall and we wouldn't see it. Now for the crossbeam part, I can't really use a crossbeam because, well look, I'll show you. Look at this. Look, it's too long. It doesn't look right. So, since we aren't going to see the inside of the tower, I'm going to get out a half floor from the concrete tab because you see how it kind of matches the rusted post I have here? And we can just use Place Anywhere after we get it in the right spot. And there we go. Looks much better. Alright, we're almost done. So on the inside, I'm going to replace this floor piece with a half floor connected to the doorway. Then I'm going to get out a half wall and snap it below the floor. The goal is to get this wall by itself so we can snap a roof piece to it. And under the barn tab, I'm going to use this roof that matches the walls with both sides closed off. And then I'm going to snap it to the wall where it's clipping through the doorway. So the whole point of all this was to make a small arch over the door frame. And look at that. It looks pretty cool. I just wanted to add a little bit more texture on the outside. And to cover this up, we can snap in any kind of floor or thin roof. I'm just going to use warehouse floors like I normally do. And there we go. So this is the last part. I'm adding in a half floor underneath the arch and then snapping in some posts that we get from the warehouse tab. This is just to make it look a little more put together. And see, I don't like how the floor looks with the posts. It's just too many layers. So I just snap the post to the roof and then snap the floor piece back in to where it's flush with the bottom part of the roof. But that's it for the build. I hope that you like this version of the church. This was a little bit more fun to build because I had to be a little bit more creative, so I hope that you like the way it turned out. But I did decorate it and the graveyard, so here's the full tour. Alright, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Check out this next video, which YouTube suggested solely for you, which is pretty cool. And if you enjoyed this build, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.